Yeah.
What type of shit was Dustin Poirier talking though? What was he talking?
Nah, he was just talking like shit about me not being like as good and I wasn't like cool and all this shit and like he's fucking this dude and that dude and like just saying wild shit like he was like against me all of a sudden. I'm like, no, dude, like thought we were like cool, like we're just fighting. Like you don't have to get like angry to fight me. You gotta talk yourself into it.
Do you think some guys have to do that? They gotta kind of like get themselves in like a mental place where there's like a purpose behind it?
Yeah, I do. And I think when guys fight angry, they make mistakes. But, you know, I like that. Like, if somebody starts talking shit, like I loved it. Like, I was like, oh, yeah, keep going. Like, keep on and keep running your mouth. Even with the DeCasey kid that I fought, you know, like, he was running his mouth a lot at the weigh-ins. And I'm like, I feed off of that. It's like, if they're like quiet and not really talking, then it's like all right, we'll fight. It's
a fellow Black Zillion of yours. I'm sure you know this as a big fan of the show here. Rashad Evans sat there and said something very similar, that he wanted to get his opponents angry because they make mistakes when they're angry.
Yeah.
So he would try to figure out ways to get under their skin.
Because now they gotta back up a lot. They gotta back up them talking shit, and you know it's like, oh, now they just can't come in and fight. They're thinking about a lot of shit now, because now you're losing to the dude that you were just talking shit about. So
there's an embarrassment
aspect
to it.
So now you should be embarrassed.
Yeah,
like, you sound like an idiot, you know. Like, and I've learned that too. I've talked a little shit about Nate Diaz, and I ended up losing that fight. I was like, fuck. Talking all that shit, and talking all that shit, and just to fucking lose.
Yeah,
like,
no, every time you see him now, he's got that little wink in his eye, right?
It's
that
like,
little, what were you saying?
I think, I would also think sometimes people will cash that check to almost like make themselves like
get committed.
Put like now I gotta
the Sun Tzu thing. Put yourself on death's door. That's the idea. Like back yourself into a corner because that's where you're most dangerous type of a thing. It probably works. I don't know if you can convince yourself to do it every time, right? Like the human.
I'm gonna call this episode "Coughing with Michael Johnson."
Yeah, I know, right? Dude, I just fucking coughed for 2 weeks. I've been dealing with the shit.
Menace 19.
Yeah, I ain't sick. No COVID.
We got, but we talked about it with the Navy SEAL, right? Like you can only trick yourself so often.
Sure.
Your body starts rejecting. The lies we tell ourselves,
100%.
So if you're not angry, like, do you really need, it's almost a gimmick, right? Like, I mean, you guys train so much, you're so good, like, fuck it, just
be authentic as possible.
What the fuck, be you.
Be real.
Well, that's the part of it from an entertainer's perspective I've never understood. Like the guys who don't take that 15 minutes in front of the whole world and just present yourself as you are and let the chips fall where they may. Because then the worst case scenario is that you win and you now gain fame and notoriety for something that you're not, and now you have to keep up this facade. You know what I'm saying? Now you've created a fucking prison for yourself. You know, that you've got a fucking...
Like Kobe. Kobe's not like that in real life.
Facts.
Yeah. Like
Colby Covington?
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that. Kobe's not like that in real life.
But do you think he'd be where he is if he didn't act like that?
Maybe not. I mean, I don't know. He's got the skill, but would he have like that little show he puts on? Without that show, he might not be as big as he is.
I don't think he would at all. I think it was. I think he needed to implement that because his style wasn't sexy at all. You know what I mean?
It's important. It gets the job done, but he needs something else for eyes.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to watch the fight style, you know.
Yeah, but it's got to be weird every time he walks into a room. They're expecting one thing and they get something else. You know.
Yeah.
Well, like he's like the heel, like being the heel and all that.
He's like a nice guy.
Really?
Yeah, but he acts like a total prick.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like what he puts out there, he's like he's like, hey, nerds and virgins. Like he's like,
he acts like a little nerd. He acts like corny and shit, but nah, he's actually a fucking cool dude.
He's like a cool guy.
Dude, stop.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess that's Masvidal's point, I would imagine. But
man, he might have taken it a little farther.
Maybe. Well, it's
street rules, man.
Protect yourself at all times, I suppose.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was talking about that with a few people in the gym. I go, that's fucking bitch shit. I would tell them like sucker punch and shit. Like nah.
Outside of a steakhouse?
Nah, bro. A lot of people abide by that. I agree. I never sucker punched anyone in my life, but that's a lot of people are like, hey, suckers get sucker punched. That's some street shit,
He's like, I'm known for this shit. Like he's like
I'm the sucker punch king.
I'm like, dude, you.
That's some people. I don't know why, but you see like the knockout game and shit like that. I don't know what the appeal of it is. But that's some street shit,
you
man.
get fucking killed around where I'm from. You do some shit like that. You're known for it.
Yeah,
I don't think 100%. When the motherfucker wakes up, he's gonna be looking for you.
Yeah.
You know,
facts.
like, just square up. Like, what the fuck?
I don't think anything in my life has ever made me as angry as the first time I saw the knockout game on the internet.
What about dogs getting hurt?
Right there with it.
Yeah,
right there with it. I still hope that cop in Cleveland is dying of a very painful terminal cancer right now. Yeah, he's probably a great guy. He's a great guy.
Oh, fuck that motherfucker.
Fuck you put 3 into a golden retriever. Fuck is wrong with you?
You shot a golden retriever?
Oh, bro.
My God. Oh my God.
Because it went up to him.
Because it ran up to him. Yeah.
Fucking brutal, bro.
It's ruining my day. Let's talk about punching human beings again.
Yeah, I know, right?
But
we can deal with human beings, dogs, fucking animals. Like, no. Like,
so I know you think a lot of the
seriously,
100%. I feel you.
A golden retriever?
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up.
So I know you think a lot of the current fighters, you don't dig the current atmosphere so much. You think there's a lot of like athletes and clowns. Is anyone you want to flame to give a little taste of what people can expect on the Menace monologues?
No, not really. You can't put him on blast.
I'm not putting you on blast. I'm putting you on spot to put someone on blast.
It's got to be a premeditated clown. Like,
okay. You're gonna sit down with G and write some material.
And then it's probably gonna come from like the fight weeks or like or what happened that week or what's kind of popular or like hit. You know, like what do you call it? The current events.
Trending.
Okay.
Current events. Very good.
So you're gonna kind of give your take on shit that's going on.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm going with. I think then I have a guest or two every now and then.
I love, you talk about Chael Sonnen as an archetype. I listen to him all the time. He's fantastic. There's nobody that can stretch a 1-minute story to 16 minutes like Chael fucking Sonnen.
It's fucking good.
He talks shit. He gives his little brain. Like, he's cool. Like, you just sit back.
Another really nice guy, too. I remember when I met him, I was like...
He's overcome a lot. Tough fucking upbringing. He's overcome a lot, respect.
There was one year where his father did not make $100,000. He only had them made once a week.
He saw someone spit in the park.
Can you pull that up?
Nobody did anything.
That's just fucking hilarious.
I think I saw that, too.
That shit was fucking hysterical. Well, he speaks in iambic pentameter.
Right?
He speaks. He does. He speaks in iambic
No, I think
pentameter.
he's talking right to the camera. He's just monologuing. Yeah, it's fucking hysterical.
We all know that John Jones is the best fighter of all time. We know this about John Jones.
I think he was talking about the Nagaras, where he was like, he's talking to Joe Rogan, and he's like, I saw them try to feed the bus a carrot. And Joe was like, that didn't happen. He was like, it did. Like, it was so fucking.
Go ahead, Christian. Go ahead. Yeah, I tried to.
It's a quick clip. There it is.
Through things that somebody like you in your little pearly loft couldn't even relate to. And if you're asking me to share stories with you that are frankly none of your business, maybe I'll give you a couple, and maybe you'll take a little smug look off your face.
Yeah, I love it.
I can date back to when I was 11 years old. I'm minding my own business, and I'm in a park. This guy, stranger to me, takes a piece of gum out of his pocket, he puts it in his mouth, and he just throws the wrapper on the ground. There was a police officer standing right there. He didn't do anything. And I saw that. I had to see these things at a young age. Sure, somebody came along, somebody picked it up, somebody threw it in the trash can. But for the few moments where that sat on the ground and the law was violated right here in my neighborhood, you look at me, there was years where my father didn't even make $100,000. Barely made $100,000. And sure, we had a maid, but she only came twice a week. What do you think happened the other 5 days? You think those dishes wash themselves?
Oh, look how he's looking.
He's such a good actor, bro.
He's the man.
He's
birthday, but just one. They had to share that car. They had to share that car. He needs to drive today. You haven't seen the things I've seen. You haven't been down that way. You haven't been to the mean streets of Westland, Oregon.
Brother, he should be in Hollywood. He should be in fucking Hollywood. That's so good.
Funny.
You know, but he is
Because he makes it believable. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Like his little subtleties, his eye movement. He's like,
it's
you haven't
incredible.
seen the things I've seen.
Great actor.
He's great.
Great actor.
He's terrific.
And he took both freaking Anderson Silva and John Jones. Took him as far as he could.
Had Anderson beat.
Yeah,
He had
that shit
Anderson
was crazy.
beat him 24 minutes of that fucking fight.
24 minutes and 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That's
He
got
lost the
fucking
last
crazy.
30. That's gotta, yeah.